Hi, good morning and welcome to Manic Fishing. Well, obviously I'm in the yard, so I'm waiting. My friend's going to come out and it's New Year's Eve today. My friend's going to come out tomorrow very kindly and take the leg off and see if we can see anything. So in the meantime, I've got my Scotch pads down there. I'm going to give the old boat a scour over. It's a copper coat.
Hi.
And
you are currently being recorded.
Sorry about that, security, high security here. I'm going to try and Lowrance kindly gave me this. Cheers, Charlie. I'm going to put this on. Obviously I've got the other transducer working now, but I'm going to put this on. It comes with a 25-foot cable, so I'll be honest with you, I'm not technical enough. I've got to wait for Grant's laid up at the minute. We've got another transducer on the back there, so what I'm hoping to do is what I've seen him do before, is we put the transducer on, then we tie some 250 conga line around that cable, then pull that cable through, and then tie this cable on and pull it back through. But I'm sure it's not as simple as that, and I expect I've got to take these side panels off again to get the cable through, but I'm just going to assemble it and hopefully fit it onto the boat, and then I'll do a little bit of scouring. So unfortunately I think that the next couple of videos will be of me doing a little bit of boat maintenance in preparation for getting it back in the water and touch wood, you know, back on the sea. But I'll go through the process of this and get it on the boat, and then we'll start to do a bit of rubbing down. Right, so put the bracket on, so you have to screw these screws on, and they've got like a split washer, you know, a split washer on it to clamp them tight. And I've put this on, but I think I'm going to have to adjust this slightly, because obviously it needs to go on the back. That's where the old one is. And what you do is you put this part of it so that you don't want it dragging, so you want to really have this in line with the keel. So yeah, but I mean basically really where that one, I'm gonna initialize those two screw holes that are already there. I don't want to put any more screw holes in there than I need to, and I think 2 screws will hold it, because I'll put some, I love the old Sticker Flex CT1, I'll put loads of that on there, get it all over myself. Let's try and take that one off, and then what it does is it's just tacked it round here, and then it goes into this. So I take this off, and then hopefully, as I said, I'm only really going to get to that stage with it, and then I'll leave it to the expert Grant. He can do it, and then I'll start. What I've got is these are just cheap old Scotch pads, and I'm going to wet it, and then literally all you do, what I've been told with this copper coat, is you just literally just go over it, just buff it over. It's much bigger than Lady Margaret was, but I think we'll just give it a slight rough over, and I think it brings the copper out in the coat, and hopefully then it's good to go. But let's have a try and see if I can do this. So I've just got that out. One of the screws was a little bit tough to get out, and it looks like these cable ties here, these little ties here have pulled out, so they've still got the screw holes there. I can take this one out, I think. Yeah. And then what I'll do is when I put the cable back in, I'll just leave it dangling for a while until and then I can just put they're just like a normal little cable tie thing. So I'll put that back in. So I'm going to try and take this grommet off here, and then should be a bigger hole there, and then I'll attempt to put to Tyson Conga line there and see how I get on with pulling it, but I think it's going to get jammed with the wiring, and that's a Grant job. So let's try and take this one off here, and we'll go from there. So just got these screws off of here, and this should just prise off. I doubt they put in loads of sticker flex like I do. So yeah, so they have got some silicone. So all that is just a cover to stop the water going up and inside it. So let's make sure I keep all this stuff free. And then they've got this here. It's like just some silicone they've weighed in there. So it's got quite a big hole, so hopefully that hole will fit that transducer. So I might have to get Grant to make that hole slightly bigger, and then hopefully, if it does get made bigger, let me think. Yeah, that's got to go up to the unit, so this has got to go through that hole. So I think that's got to be slightly bigger, maybe. If that's the case, then I'll have to buy a bigger one of these. Right, so let's get up to the front of the unit. I know what cable it is, and I'll tie some conga wire, tape it round it, and then I'll start to do a little bit of pulling, and if it gets stuck straight away, then I'll leave it, and it's a Grant job, and then we'll get on and we'll do the we'll start to do the anti-foul. But I think I can probably fit that on now. I can't see any reason why I can't fit that, so I'll have a look how that's going to go, and yeah, I can initialise those holes because that's not going to be too much drag there, as long as this part is not dragging in the is not dragging under the boat, causing a drag. This wants to really be you know, sort of level with that, you know, the bottom of it, so it doesn't drag through. And then obviously this is the water line here. It's completely under the water anyway, and obviously the sonar goes down like it's almost like a torch. When you shine a torch, it's like a cone. So even if it's up slightly higher, it don't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this CT1, this is good, and I'm going to squirt a bit up the holes first, just to seal anything there. I am famous for getting this everywhere, this stuff. So now how should I do this? I think perhaps just let's try and put a little bit on the back without getting it everywhere. So let's just go along here. I literally am murders with this stuff. Grant always laughs at me because I insist on it. I insist on putting it on everywhere. Let's just give it a nice few blobs. Can't have enough of it. Right, now let's try not to get this everywhere. So where's my screws? There's my screws. Let's get prepared. So I had to take that bracket off of there because I put it on there, put the bolts on, and then I couldn't get it up high enough to do it with the so I'll have to put the it back onto the bracket afterwards. So let's try and do this without causing too much chaos. But what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to squirt some on this as well. I'm just going to dip this. I'll dip this screw in here so it all seals it like that. Come on, let's give it loads. That's it. Right, I've already got it on one finger already. Right, so where's my screwdriver? This is like the lowest one. Put that screw in, just start it off. I'll get the old impact driver in. That's one. Start it off. And what I'll do is I'll try and get it as high as I can and as level as I can. So I'm only using my eye, but you know, I'm a bricklayer, so it's got to be spot on. It doesn't matter, I'll be honest with you, the boat's like that, swaying all over the place anyway, so it don't really matter too much. Right, that's it. That looks good to me. Look, already. Right. See that squeeze out? I don't know if you can with the camera's positioned. That's in there, lovely. And if you can see all that white gunk in this. I'm just going to give that a wipe with a rag. So I've got a rag here. I'll give that a wipe over just to seal that all in, and then I'll bolt the other bit on. Right, so that part's done. So I'm just going to wet this a bit. I've got a bit of water here. Just, I say it's not a yacht, is it? You know, just to clean it up a little bit, and then I'm hoping that this part I can just bolt it back on, and hopefully Bob's your uncle. Right, let's try it. Now it's got two holes here, yeah, like sort of two settings of holes here. So I'm just going to put it on that one and see where it is. See, now to me that's not down lower, that's just bang in line with that, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put that on there, so I can just put that bolt on there now, just to let it bite. That's it. Put the other one on. Put the other one up. I'll get my socket and my spanner and tighten that up, and then hold it in the position, and then tighten it fully, and then I can just literally leave that bit there until Grant comes out and connects it properly. But I will try and pull the cable through. Why not? Let's give it a go and see. You know, might be lucky first time, but I very much doubt it. Okay, let's get it up and I'll show you. So I've just sort of done it finger tight, and then what I'll do is I'll just move that up and get it roughly where I think I want it. Let me just kneel on this Scotch pad. So I think that's where I want it there now. So then I can just tighten this up completely. And that's the first part of it. So, blimey, expert, aren't I? And then obviously this cable will go up here, around here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going to connect it with this 250 conger wire, and the knot I've used is part fisherman, part granny, I'll be honest. So I've just put a knot like that around it for now, and then I'm going to tape that on, and hopefully that'll pull through. And then what it'll do is it'll pull this, hopefully if it goes through, it'll pull this conger wire right the way down to the bottom, pull this lead out, and then I attach my lead to it and reverse the process. So touch wood, let's see if it works. Yeah, so unfortunately I'm trying to give it a pull, but I believe Grant's cable tied it all together. So anyway, it's not holding anything up. At least I've got that section, it's all taped up ready. I've managed to push it through the hole, took my unit off, pushed it through the hole, so when Grant gets here we'll get him to pull it through. And then obviously once that comes through, the conger wire hopefully is the conger 250 conger mono is still connected to this lead here, so in theory that will come through. We'll tie it back on, this one back on, and tape it, and then pull it back through, exactly do the reverse. So that's what I'm hoping. So I'm at a stuck here. So I think now what I'll do is I'll start to put some start to wash and rub off with the one of these Scotch pads. Now I'll put the tools away, and then I'll start doing this process. And well, you've seen it all before really, but okay. So I've just put a little bit of water in this bucket, and I'm going to just lightly rub over this just wet that. I'm just going to lightly rub over this copper coat. And what I've been told is literally you're just sort of taking off the rough bits, and it sort of brings that copper coat back to life. I don't know if this is an original one. I think they're supposed to have about a 10-year life with them, so I'm not sure how old this one is, but you know, I'll be honest with you, when I took it out, I say when it was running, when I took it out it was doing about 26 knots, and it was dirty, you know, so it's had a clean. So if I just give it a scuff up, hopefully, I'm hoping that will bring that copper coat back to life, and then go from there. But it's a big old boat, isn't it? So I think it'll be a while. So I think I'll put you on time shift. really like to tell you how satisfying that is. The fact of the matter is not. It's bloody hard work. But what I found is it feels a little bit abrasive, and then it'll come up, and then it'll almost go creamy and go smooth. So I reckon that's where the copper's coming out of it, you know, or bringing it back. So I've only done a little section here round this bow thruster here. It's obviously they put this in after the copper coat had gone on, and there's some few barnacles and whatever around there, so I'm going to scrape that off, and I may well do just that little section with a light hand sander or some sort of wet and dry paper just to get that off a bit better. But I'm just going to hose this little section off, but literally you're rubbing it and you can feel it slightly abrasive, and then it'll go almost silky smooth. So yeah, I know expert, but that sounds, you know, that feels pretty sweet to me. So let's just give it a bit of a wash off and see what it comes up like. My mate Gazza is down here tomorrow, and he's going to whip this leg off, and hopefully we should see what's going on, and hopefully the engine will start and everything else. But you know, touch wood, it is what it is. I mean, I'm prepared for the worst, and then anything under that is a result. And as I said, on Thursday, poor old lady Margaret's going up to Wales. Guys bought it, been messaging me for over a week on find a fishing boat. I've had no notifications or anything, and he managed to find my number off of some social media or whatever, and gave me a ring. So he's coming down, Andy his name is, so hopefully he'll get some great enjoyment out of that boat. It's lovely. But as I said, let's try and concentrate on this old girl at the minute. So I'm going to get scrubbing down the side. And I'll just show you this. I don't know if you can see this. Let's get you down here a little bit. When I'm rubbing this up, I ain't got a clue really what I'm doing, but as I'm rubbing this is coming up like nice and creamy. And look, I reckon that's bringing the copper out. Because that's lovely, that. See, and where I've done here, it's gone almost like an orangey red. So please tell me if I'm doing it right. I don't know, but this is what I've been told to do anyway. So yeah, that's literally bringing that up lovely. Yeah, fingers crossed, eh? So good morning, Happy New Year. New Year's Day, I come back down. Obviously you saw yesterday I was bringing this copper coat up, and it's come up lovely. It's gone back a little bit brown. I think that's the way it's supposed to be done, so I believe I need to do the other side as well as I did this side. And then the bottom, I thought about, I'll be honest with you, scheming about doing it an easier way. I think if I was to get like a pole and try and attach it, it's a bit windy today. If I was to get a pole, let me bring it around here. Get a pole and I think put a pad on there, I think I might be able to do it, but I'm always looking for an angle. My mate Gazza's down today, and he's going to take the leg off and just to see, and hopefully we'll get the engine started. So what I'm going to do is I'll just bring it around here. So windy, I hope I'm not going to lose the camera today. So we're going to try and take this leg off and see exactly what the situation is, but it shouldn't be a massively long job, but we're just going to do some estimations really just to see what the outcome is. But I'll put you on a time shift, and then you can see the process. We're going to try and get the leg off now. ninja.
There you go, mate. Right, so that's what fell apart on
Right,
you.
let's have a look. So
I thought it was that.
so hopefully, I don't know if you can see that. So what is it? It's
So this is the shaft that goes onto the gearbox.
Yeah.
Drives the gearbox directly out the back of the engine.
so what should that be connected
It should be
to?
attached to this triax.
Right.
This universal joint.
Yeah.
Obviously you can see it's not no longer.
So that's the
problem. You know, I said that shaft looked like it was cocked.
Yeah.
That's because it's come off that, which was pushing on the clutch diaphragm.
Yeah.
The clutch dampening plate.
Yeah.
Locking the engine so it couldn't turn because the shaft's trying to turn like this.
And well, that would be that clunking noise.
You know, gearbox fine.
Oh, mate. Well, hopefully it's not quite as bad as we thought. Or well, Gazza had it marked right, didn't you? Really?
Yeah, pretty much. Here, they're supposed to be in here, and they're supposed to look like these ones.
Yep. And that's been buckled and bent for a long time.
Well, I'd imagine it's been worn for a long time, and then when it's fallen apart and jammed up, I'd imagine it's bent these ears,
Yeah.
which is why the engine wouldn't turn, because that in effect was locked at that angle.
Yep.
So of course, as you're trying to turn the engine, that's trying to basically spin like that, and of course it can't.
Yep.
So that's why the engine locked up.
Right.
Batteries are charged.
Yeah, battery's all charged. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is we've taken the shaft off, so I'm just going to try it quickly just to see if the engine starts. So fingers crossed. Try it, yeah. Enough? Again? Right. So thank God for that. So at least we got to the bottom of it, and thanks very much to my mate Gazza for coming down. It just puts your mind at rest, you know. Let me just go in here, it's a bit windy. Yeah, so obviously the engine flies up, so there's no problems there. That's fine. It's just that UV joint. I have got a spare leg that Gazza's managed to sort out that I'm going to put in. I'm just going to buy it for the sake of buying it, and then I've got a spare anyway. Didn't really realise they were going to be a little bit temperamental, but it is what it is. I'm in the hole with it now. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to do the anti-fan. It's going to take me a little bit of time or whatever, but at least we're at this stage. So hopefully the next video you'll see is of the leg going back on, and I'm going to get the toilet fitted and just the general bits and pieces done, so I'm ready to go down to Weymouth. Thanks very much for watching Manic Fishing. Sorry it's a yard video, but you know, that's just how it is. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.